You're listening to the Greeks Gridiron, live with Ethan Hristodoulou.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Greeks Gridiron. I am Ethan Hristodoulou, and today I am going through my Buffalo Bills free agency preview, going over a player I would like to see him let go, a player I'd like to see him re-sign, and someone I would like to see them go after in the free agency pool once the free agency market officially opens up next week. So, my Buffalo Bills fans, comment down below. Let me know. Who do you want to see let go, re-signed, and brought in from the free agent market? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. There was a big rumor dropped today, I believe. It was today. It was, in fact, today. My day's getting kind of mixed together here. That Tremaine, Edmunds, and Jordan Poyer are both potentially set to become free agents and be in new places for next season. Now, that's going to lead me into who I would like to see the Bills let go, because for me, I do think there's a possibility, despite these rumors being brought out by reporters, that one of these guys can stick around, and that's going to be Jordan Poyer. So, with my let go selection, I'm going to go with linebacker, Tremaine Edmunds. So I'm obviously choosing Poyer to stick around over Edmunds, and there's a few reasons for this. The first reason being Edmunds is only 24 years old. He's about to be 25 in like a month, but he's only 24 years old. He has been very, very good in his first 5 years in the NFL. So good, in fact, I think he may have potentially priced himself out of the Bills considering their current cap situation and just how much they are over and how much they need to get down, and some other people that they're just paying absolute loads of money to right now. It is currently projected by Spotrac that Edmunds is looking along the lines of like a 4-year, $11 million deal. Well, based off the rumors from what I was reading, it sounds like Edmunds might be in for like a massive payday. And if that's the case, he's probably pushing more along the lines of like 12, 13, 14 million plus a year. And if it's getting to that point, I just don't realistically think the Bills have the money to throw around. Well, they do have the money to throw around, but I don't think that they will throw that money around to keep Edmunds within the organization. Edmunds just had what I could argue is his best season so far of his career in 2022. He did only play in 13 games, but he had 102 tackles, only a 1% missed tackle rate. This guy does not miss his tackling opportunities, and teams love and appreciate that kind of stuff. On top of that, he had a sack, an interception, and he's pretty good in coverage as well as a linebacker. He allowed only a 65% completion percentage when the ball was coming his way. Not bad at all for a linebacker. You couple that with the fact that, again, Poyer and Edmunds are the two guys being rumored to go. Poyer's being rumored for like a roughly 11 million per year deal as well. However, Poyer, since coming into Buffalo, has become like a beloved piece of this team. The fans love him. The team loves him. Poyer loves Buffalo just as much. So with that in mind, and Edmunds being a first rounder, and again, 24, about to be 25 next month, I realistically think that if you had to pick between one or the other, being that Poyer is on the wrong side of 30 at this point in his career, and he's only getting older, but he's still producing really well. He had 4 picks this past season. I think it would make sense to let go of Edmunds. You keep a leader in the locker room and Poyer around with this as well. And again, it's an unfortunate one because he, again, first rounder, and he's played really well, but it just sounds like he might be in line for a monster contract if he makes it to the free agent market, if the Bills don't offer him something that maybe he decides he can't say no to. But I have a feeling if you're Edmunds, you're probably curious what teams are willing to offer you in the open market. And I have a feeling that there's a few teams that have quite a bit of money to go around, might be able to offer him something that he just can't refuse and that the Bills just won't match. Now, as far as who I think the Bills need to re-sign, this one here is more about keeping veteran presence in the locker room, and on top of that, keeping the offensive line intact. There is some work that needs to be done with the O-line, but I do think that keeping left guard and a veteran of the NFL, Roger Saffold, around for at least another season makes a lot of sense here because, again, you're keeping that veteran leadership in the locker room. You're also keeping a guy who did really well last year. PFF only accounted him for 2 sacks out of the entire season, and this guy played 1,058 total snaps altogether. To allow only 2 sacks in 1,058 snaps, that is excellent if you ask me. Couple that with the fact that Spotrac projects him for something along the lines of like a $5.5 million deal for a year. That definitely seems like something the Bills would be willing to pay. And on top of that, back in December, Roger Saffold himself came out and said that he would do whatever it takes to stay in Buffalo. He tweeted that out to the Bills GM Brandon Beane himself. So if he's willing to do whatever he's got to do to keep himself in Buffalo, that $4.5 million could probably be shrunken down even a little bit to like 4.5 to help save the Bills money, keep some continuity on the O-line, keep a veteran on that offensive line as well, and a guy who, again, did an excellent job protecting Josh Allen last year, credited for only 2 sacks. I say keeping Saffold around makes a lot of sense in terms of talent, financials, all of it, everything across the board. His desire to stay there in Buffalo and keep a bill on his helmet for at least one more year, I think Saffold sticking around in Buffalo makes a lot of sense. And as for who I think the Bills should go after in this free agent market, I'm going to start this off by saying that my goal with finding a free agent for the Bills that I really liked, that I think would be worth targeting for them, came down to, 1, the player's athletic ability, what he can do, his potential upside, but also value. Trying to bring in someone that is physically gifted and talented, that has traits you could really like, that is maybe just kind of down on his luck, or maybe just hasn't quite had the career you would have expected at this point, or maybe looked good in the past, but injuries derailed him a little bit. And I am leading into, and this is going to help with the loss of Tremaine Edmunds here, and I'm curious to hear what you Buffalo Bills fans think on this one here, because this is about potential, and it's not going to cost a lot of money either. I'm looking at linebacker Devin Bush from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is set to hit the free agent market, barring any re-signing between me recording this right now and when free agency opens up next week. But Spotrac has him projected for a measly $3 million a year, and he had a fantastic rookie season. Looked really good. Couple of interceptions, 80-something tackles. I mean, he looked really good. And I thought, man, this is another one of those linebackers. Here goes the Steelers drafting another guy that's going to be a stud. It seems like it's like the MO of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, an injury takes him out in 2020, and then from there, he just never quite recaptures the magic from his rookie year. This is a guy who's a former first-round talent and has, like I mentioned already, all the athletic talent in the world that you want. He's probably one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL in terms of 40 times and just on-field playing speed as well. He is fast. He's played Mike linebacker, and he's played a lot of Will as well. I know he predominantly played Mike this past season, but he's flip-flopped a lot during his 4 seasons in Pittsburgh between Mike and Will, so he brings some versatility as well in terms of where you can line him up within the defense over there for Buffalo if they do decide to bring him in. And on top of him being such an athletic freak and talking about versatility, he has 254 snaps as a linebacker in the slot corner position. He's lined up 254 times for the Steelers as a slot corner when it came to matching up against whoever they were lining him opposite of. So you're looking at a guy who's super athletic, did show promise at some point. Injuries might have slowed him down, and, maybe just other players coming in, and for whatever reason, things just kind of ended up not finishing the way you would have expected based off how his start was in Pittsburgh. Now you have the opportunity to grab him, pick him up for like a 2-year deal. You have him locked in for those couple of years. See how he fits into your scheme. If you're paying him $3, maybe let's say $4 or $5 million, if maybe some teams show a little bit of interest, because again, he is super athletic, but I don't think he's going to make a lot of money because he didn't necessarily blow anyone away the last couple of years. You bring him in, cheaper deal, couple of years just to kind of see what you can get. Hopefully, at the very least, it helps to mitigate the loss of Tremaine Edmunds. I'm not saying he's going to step in and just completely take that role over, but maybe it mitigates the loss. And on the positive side of things, maybe he does fill in that role and he ends up being the guy, and you can at least have him locked up for the next couple of years while you're pushing for a Super Bowl with Josh Allen still very young in his early years of his career and being a contender. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Cheap, really high upside, and there's not really too, at worst, he's a solid depth piece, so what could you really go wrong here with? And again, the Bills don't have a ton of money. They're already $17.7 million over the cap right now, so I think it's something that makes a lot of sense. Again, my thought process here was trying to find some really good value, some really good upside, and somebody that's not going to break the bank with the money that the Bills don't really already have, because they're going to have to work their way down under that cap number soon. So I like Devin Bush. I would love to hear what you all think, Bills fans. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear them. But if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate it. I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one.